Namaste students. In today's session, let us discuss about eukaryotic cell. Now you have clearly understood what is prokaryotic cell, what are the components present in a prokaryotic cell. So if you know clearly what is prokaryotic cell, what are the components of prokaryotic cell, while studying the eukaryotic cell, you can make out certain differences between prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic cell. So eukaryotic cell has got compartmentalization of its cytoplasm. Okay, remember that eukaryotic cell has got compartmentalization of cytoplasm. Where in case of prokaryotes there is no compartmentalization of cytoplasm. Okay, in eukaryotic cell there is compartmentalization of cytoplasm. That means cytoplasm is divided into various compartments. How there is compartments formed in the cytoplasm? Because of presence of various membrane bound cell organelles. So due to the presence of various membrane bound cell organelles, the cytoplasm has been compartmentalized, or various compartments has been formed in the cytoplasm. And the eukaryotic cell has got a definite nucleus. So what do you mean by definite nucleus? The definite nucleus is such a nucleus which has got a nuclear membrane, or where the nucleus is bound by a membrane. So eukaryotic cell has got a definite nucleus where nucleus is bound by a membrane. Bound by a membrane. And what do we call the membrane? As nuclear membrane. In addition to this definite nucleus, there are various membrane bound cell organelles. Various membrane bound cell organelles present in eukaryotic cell. So which are those membrane bound cell organelles present in eukaryotic cell? Eukaryotic cell has got endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, Golgi bodies, lysosomes. Certain eukaryotic cell has got plastids and various other cell organelles. So eukaryotic cell has got various membrane bound cell organelles. And in case of eukaryotic cell, the genetic material that is present has inside the nucleus, it is organized into chromosomes, structures known as chromosomes. Genetic material in the eukaryotic cell. You know that genetic material is present inside the nucleus, And how is it organized? The genetic material is organized into chromosomes. And these eukaryotic cells also have certain locomotory structures and cytoskeletal structures. They also have locomotory structures and cytoskeletal structures. So just remember these concepts. So we are going to study all these concepts in detail. It has got the cytoplasm that is compartmentalized. They have got a definite nucleus, they have got various membrane bound cell organelles, and the genetic material that is present inside the nucleus is organized into chromosome, and they have got locomotory structure as well as cytoskeletal structure. Even though the eukaryotic cell, you know that there are various organisms which have got eukaryotic cells. So what are those cells, or what are those examples that we have noted down under eukaryotic cell? They may be plant cell, animal cell, fungal cell, or cells of protists, right? We have already noted down the cells that represent the eukaryotic cell, or the organisms that represent or that has got eukaryotic cell. For example, if we take plant cell as well as animal cell, even though both are eukaryotic cell, plant cell is also eukaryotic cell, animal cell is also eukaryotic cell, but they are not identical. So you have to remember this point very carefully. Even though they are eukaryotic cell, so all eukaryotic cells are not identical. All eukaryotic cells are not identical. So how can we say that all eukaryotic cells are not identical? example, if you consider plant cell and animal cell. Plant cell and animal cell are not identical. They are different from each other. So what is the difference between plant cell as well as animal cell? In case of plant cell, they have got a definite cell wall. We just note down what are those differences that are found between plant cell as well as animal cell. The major differences between plant cell and animal cell. We have noted that all eukaryotic cells are not identical. For example, plant cell as well as animal cell. They are not identical. They are different. How they are different? In case of plant cell, they have got a definite cell wall. Plant cell has got a definite cell wall. Whereas animal cell lacks cell wall. Animal cell lacks cell wall. And plant cell has got certain cell organelles known as plastids, whereas animal cells do not have plastids. Plastids are absent. Plastids are absent. Then, plant cell has got large centrally located vacuole. Plant cell has large centrally located vacuole, and this large centrally located vacuole occupies 1/3 of the portion of or the volume of a cell. So large or much volume of a cell is occupied by this centrally located vacuole. Since the vacuole is large and it is centrally located, it pushes the nucleus towards periphery. So in case of plant cell, the nucleus is usually found towards the periphery, mainly due to the presence of large centrally located vacuole. Whereas in case of animal cell, this large centrally located vacuole is not present. Instead, there are vacuoles. Vacuoles may or may not be present. If they are present, they are very small. Okay, vacuoles may or may not be present. May or may not be present. If they are present, they are very small. If they are present, they are very small vacuoles. Okay. Now, in case of animal cell, there are certain structures known as centrioles. Animal cell has got certain structures known as centrioles. So, centrioles are present in case of animal cell, whereas in plants, centrioles are not present. Centrioles are absent. Centrioles are absent. And what is the role of this centriole? Centrioles play an important role, especially during cell division. Okay, centrioles have a major role to play during cell division, which are present only in animal cell and not in the plant cell. So even though the plant cell and animal cells are eukaryotic cells, they are not identical, they are different from each other. So these are some of the major differences between plant cell and animal cell. Now let us discuss about various cell organelles, its structures and function. So first let us discuss about the structure and function of cell membrane. Due to advancement in electron microscopy in around 1950s, it was possible for the scientists to reveal the structure of plasma membrane. Meanwhile, scientists have done chemical studies on various cells, and especially they have, based on the chemical studies done on human RBCs, scientists have identified that the cell membrane is composed of lipids and proteins. So based on the chemical studies done on human RBC, scientists have identified that the cell membrane is composed of proteins as well as lipids. And the major kind of lipids that are found in the cell membrane are phospholipids. Major kind of lipids are phospholipids. Phospholipids mainly have lipids that have polar heads and non-polar tails. Okay? So the lipids that are present in the membrane mainly have got polar heads and non-polar tails. The polar heads are hydrophilic in nature. Polar heads are hydrophilic in nature, whereas non-polar tails are hydrophobic. Hydrophobic. Hope you know the meaning of hydrophilic and hydrophobic. Hydrophilic is water loving. hydrophobic is water hating. So polar heads are hydrophilic, non-polar tails are hydrophilic. If you observe the diagram of the plasma membrane, you can identify here or you can note down here each lipid. You know that plasma membrane mainly consists of lipids, and the type of major lipids that are present are phospholipids. Each lipid has got a polar head and non-polar tail. And the polar head are mainly projecting outwards, whereas non-polar hydrophobic tails are projecting inwards. So how many layers of lipids are present here? There are 2 layers of lipids where the polar heads are projecting outwards and the non-polar tails are projecting inwards. So there are 2 layers of lipids or bilipid layers. So plasma membrane mainly consists of bilipid layer. So these are the bilipid layers. 2 lipid layers or 2 layers of lipids, bilipid layer. And the ratio of protein and lipid varies in different cell types. Okay, especially in the human erythrocytes, it has been identified that the protein content and lipid content is around 52% and 40%. In case of human erythrocytes, so based on biochemical studies, scientists have identified that in human erythrocytes, especially the membrane, cell membrane of human erythrocytes has got around 52% of protein. So protein content is around 52% and lipid content is around 40%. So this ratio of protein and lipid is not the same for all the cell types. It varies in different cell types. So here we have given the ratio of protein and lipid of only human erythrocytes, the membrane of human erythrocytes. So remember that the ratio of protein and lipid varies in different cell types. Okay. So in between the lipid bilayer, there are proteins. And it has been also identified by the biochemical studies that there is presence of cholesterol between the bilipid layer, and there are certain carbohydrates that are present in the bilipid layer. So cell membrane mainly is composed of lipids, proteins, there are certain carbohydrates and there are certain cholesterol content present in the lipid bilayer. And in between the lipid bilayer, there are proteins. And based on the ease of extraction, how easy it is to extract the proteins, proteins are categorized into 2 types, or proteins are classified into 2 types. They are integral proteins and peripheral proteins. So what are the 2 kinds of proteins? Integral proteins and peripheral proteins. So we will see how do we differentiate these integral proteins and peripheral proteins. So on what basis we classify these proteins? Based on the ease of extraction. How easy it is to extract. Based on that we categorize or classify the proteins into integral proteins and peripheral proteins. So integral proteins are those proteins which are partially or completely embedded or buried in the bilipid layer. You can observe here these are the integral proteins. So these integral proteins are partially or completely buried within the lipid bilayer. So these proteins are known as integral proteins, or they are also called as intrinsic proteins. In addition to intrinsic proteins, there are certain proteins known as peripheral proteins. So peripheral proteins are usually found on the surface of the lipid bilayer. Surface of lipid bilayer, there are certain proteins and they are known as peripheral proteins. So these are the 2 kinds of proteins that are mainly present on the lipid bilayer or the plasma membrane. In addition to lipid bilayer, 2 kinds of proteins, integral proteins, peripheral proteins, there are certain cholesterol, there is presence of carbohydrates in lipid bilayer or the structure of plasma membrane. So next let us see the famous model that has been proposed to reveal the structure of cell membrane or plasma membrane. So various scientists have put forth various models to reveal the structure of plasma membrane, but the widely accepted model to study the structure of plasma membrane is fluid mosaic model. Among the various models that has been put forth by various scientists to study or reveal the structure of plasma membrane, the most widely accepted model of plasma membrane is known as fluid mosaic model of plasma membrane. So this fluid mosaic model of plasma membrane was proposed by two of the biologists named Singer and Nicholson in the year 1972. So fluid mosaic model was proposed by Singer and Nicholson in the year 1972. So according to this model, according to fluid mosaic model of the plasma membrane, the plasma membrane has got lipids and they are quasi-fluid in nature. Okay, the plasma membrane has lipids, they are quasi-fluid in nature. So quasi-fluid of nature of lipid mainly makes the proteins to move in the lipid bilayer. So because of quasi-fluid nature of lipids, there is lateral movement of proteins in the lipid bilayer. So proteins usually move laterally in the lipid bilayer. How they can move laterally in the lipid bilayer? Because of quasi-fluid nature of the lipids. So since there is lateral movement of proteins in the lipid bilayer, it gives a kind of fluidity to the membrane. Okay, it gives a kind of fluidity to the membrane, and fluidity of membrane is very essential for various functions of the cell membrane or plasma membrane. We will see what are those functions that cell membrane performs based on the fluidity of the membrane. So based on the fluidity of a membrane, the cell membrane or plasma membrane helps in various functions, or it gets various functions. They are secretion, endocytosis, cell division, cell growth and formation of intercellular junctions. So all these functions are mainly because of the fluidity of the membrane. So those functions are secretion, endocytosis, cell division, cell growth as well as formation of intercellular junction. So this is the structure of this is the feature of fluid mosaic model of plasma membrane given by Singer and Nicholson in the year 1972. So this is the diagram of the fluid mosaic model of plasma membrane given by Singer and Nicholson. So this diagram is very important even from exam point of view. So this is usually asked question for 5 marks with explanation. Diagram and explanation is usually asked for 5 marks and only diagram can be asked for 3 marks. So next let us discuss about the functions of plasma membrane.